everyone. Welcome to the Summer Mentorship Kickoff webinar hosted by IxDAHK Hong Kong. Before we get started, just want to reiterate that if you're an English speaker, please could you change your Zoom name so that it indicates that you are only an English speaker. You can look at the example on the screen, or you can look at my name. This is just because later on in the session, there will be breakout rooms. So we want to make sure that you're in a breakout room that is being conducted in English. If you have any questions, you can just drop them in the chat. So yes, let's get started. First of all, I just wanted to introduce kind of the core team and the volunteers here at IxDAHK. So the core team is comprised of Ada and Peter, and they kind of, help drive the direction of IxDAHK, including the mentorship platform. Ada and Peter are also mentors in this upcoming round. So I will leave it to them later to give a more in-depth introduction for themselves. And there are 4 IxDAHK volunteers. Cherry, who is a UX designer at PayMe, Suen, who is a UX UI design consultant at HSBC, Vicky, who is a product designer at Mapsys, and me. I'm a bootcamp student right now at Design Lab. All right, so here's just a very brief breakdown of how we're going to run the session today. So I'll start off with kind of an introduction into IxDAHK and what we do. We'll then introduce the upcoming summer mentorship program, as well as an exciting design challenge that we have planned. We'll also have the mentors introduce themselves so you can get to know them better. They'll also then engage in a sharing session where they'll be discussing this topic: what is a design manager looking for when hiring a junior designer? Then we'll be breaking out into the breakout rooms for the discussion. So again, please change your name to indicate if you're an English speaker, so we know to allocate you to a room that is for English speakers. And then we'll kind of wrap up with how to apply for the mentorship program, as well as the design challenge. All right, so what is IxDAHK? So IxDAHK Hong Kong is the local Hong Kong chapter of the Interaction Design Association, which is a global organization dedicated to the discipline of interaction design. So the Hong Kong chapter launched in 2006, and now we have over 2,000 members in our Facebook group. And the Hong Kong chapter specifically is focused on advancing the discipline of interaction design within the local Hong Kong community. Usually we do this through our mentorship platform, as well as monthly events that are held in both English and Cantonese. In these events, we cover wide range of topics, some of which are design thinking, innovation, user experience, interaction service design, startups, web, mobile design, hardware, and IoT. So if you're interested in any of those topics and you kind of want to be notified when we have any upcoming, please do join our Facebook group or follow us on LinkedIn. So pre-pandemic, we were mostly an offline organization. So we had a lot of our meetings in person, a lot of our events and discussions in person, as well as mentorship sessions in person. But as you all know, now that we're in a pandemic, we've had to kind of adapt, and we've brought a lot of our activities online. So a lot of our meetups and discussions have been over Zoom, and one-on-one mentorship sessions have also been on Zoom primarily. We're hoping that as the situation gets better, that we'll be able to move everything back offline. So yeah, hopefully sooner or later, we'll be able to see each other in person too. So now I'm going to hand off to Vicky, who will walk us through the program.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Vicky. Thank you, Karina, for the team introduction. If we go to the next slide, we would like to, again, reiterate the purpose of introducing the mentorship program. So to reiterate again, this is a 3-month mentorship program from August to November this year. The purpose is to, connect young and passionate designers to create a shared space for mentors and designers to, provide guidance and professional advice to help you excel faster in your career path. So whether you are a design graduate, unsure of how to kickstart your design career, or if you're a junior designer looking for ways to become like a senior designer, or even if you're a career changer, like you're not in the industry yet, but you have been wanting to step your foot into the industry, this is the program for you. Having a mentor can help to provide guidance during your learning progress, helps you see things from a more holistic perspective, as well as it will help you to identify common pitfalls and how you might be able to tackle them, most often speaking from a mentor's own experience. So they've been there. They know how to, get out of it with you. If we can go to the next slide, please. All right, so we have set up a mentor network, which comprises of all of the mentors' profiles and instructions of how to book a session with them, which will also be shared shortly after today's webinar. All right, next slide, please. Thank you. So what can you expect to get out of this mentorship program? If you have just updated your portfolio and you need someone to review it, you can ask a mentor to review your portfolio. Or if you need career advice on where you currently stand in your career, how to position yourself and how to pivot from where you are, you can ask your mentor. And if you need more context about to learn about different design methodologies and when to use them, you can ask your mentor, as well as this is like an opportunity to meet other people in the UX community in Hong Kong. All right, I'll just hand it off to Cherry to talk about the design challenge.
Thank you. I think that will be Peter.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, hi, everyone. I'm Peter. Oh, so apart from the mentorship or regular mentorship, this round, actually, we would actually this is the second. We've just has been finishing 2 years of this mentorship program. So this time we would try to experiment something new. And then that's why we are thinking of having sessions called Design Challenge. Okay, so what does it mean? Actually, from previous mentorship conversation, we understand a lot of, we receive a lot of feedbacks from mentees saying that, okay, we might not have good project put into portfolio, especially for those who just finishing study or trying to go from one industry to another and entering the UX industry, not having a good project to put inside portfolio could be quite some problem that they would have. So we continuously receiving that, and then we are thinking like, okay, how could we help other than just telling that, okay, this is a good portfolio? How could we actually help them to have some meaningful content put in the portfolio? But on the other hand, how could this design project to be a little bit more meaningful? So in order to create this kind of win-win situation, so we think of like, oh, how about we find some problem that worth to solve, and then we have mentee to sign up for project, while we have a mentor to do the mentoring in action, who actually goes through a project together with them on the meaningful topics. Okay, so to create that kind of combination, we're thinking of like having NGO. How about we approach some NGO, starting with some friends inside NGO, and then have some real topic that's related to the society, and then meaningful to be solved. So that's why we come up with this program. And then the idea is that we're going to have 3 months of a project. So mentee will sign it up, and then we'll form a team. We'll provide topics, and then of course the detailed topics we'll discuss together with the NGO, and then define it. So if the mentee in their day job or is not having a chance that they can experience the whole design thinking journey, starting from a little bit of research, understand the client, understand the problem, ideation, prototyping, user evaluation. If you think that you really would like to have a chance to really have a chance to experience this design journey with some guidance from our mentor, I think this would be an interesting program for you to sign up and then do something meaningful. So so far, I think we have engaged is several NGO as a starting. Maybe is it next slide? Oh, okay. So I thought there's a okay. So we have several NGOs lined up. Okay. So several NGOs lined up. One is Donghua Samyun, which interesting with the temple, with the temple management. And then another one is a NGO that's providing life and death education to community who does not have the who need some emotional management helps. Another one who is actually a Richmond Fellowship organization that they are actually providing a lot of different service in the community, from emotional help, also occupational disease. So these all are some things that we have already engaged, and then we'll be start having them providing some topics to us in this first design challenge program. And then I give a couple examples that Mentee could help on. One is, for example, based on their current study, based on their current process, we study their pain points, and then what we can do is to have a end-to-end design thinking journey that apply on the topics that they have to help them to create a new surface or an app, or another type of topics, for example, more tangible, on helping to redesign part of the website. One of the NGO actually told me that, okay, we currently have a website that not very and a system inside that's not very suitable for elderly to use, because the fonts and all the UI is too complicated for senior people, senior users. So I guess that will be some things could be very manageable for the mentee to help on to do some design, and then eventually with the guidance from mentor, and eventually this will be something that could be put into the portfolio. So this is a high level introduction about this design challenge. Yeah.
Thanks, Peter. Now let's welcome Ada to have a warm welcome of all the mentors attending today. Hey, Ada.
Hi, can you guys hear me clearly?
Yeah.
Hello, okay, cool. Thank you so much again for joining our meeting today. For this round, we have 12 mentors, right? So let me just do a quick introduction. Since I'm the first one, just super quick one. I do user research. I've been doing it for over 15 years. Even though I've been doing it for so long, I look forward to learning more about user research from other mentors and from you mentees. Next, we have Amy. So Amy is CA's Managing Director. I hope I pronounced your company name correctly. CA, is that right?
Yes, correct. Thank you.
Amy has also worked at Fiat, Tencent, Microsoft, and Yahoo before. While she was working at Tencent, I remember IxDAHK actually organized a one-day trip to her company in Shenzhen way back. That was a super cool experience. Thank you so much, Amy. So please give us a quick intro.
Hello, everyone. I'm excited to be the mentor for this round. Happy to meet some new faces and some old friends. I remember when I first started my career in UX, even though I got a 2-year master degree in that, when I first started working for Yahoo, I was actually quite lost and have learned a lot of, there are a lot of process and also new process, but how do you implement those process with the cross team is also a challenge. So my career grew up in a time where I need to continue to drive UX awareness and process with team members, even with those well-known startup names that you might be aware of. So I do want to share some of my experience with you guys, because I know many of you might be working with startups and also looking for a job. And when you go join the company, you might be the only one designer or only with small teams of designers that some of you guys might can be used some help or tips on driving process with your cross team. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you, Amy. And next we have Chris. So I met Chris like I think half an hour ago. Chris, are you still with us?
I am, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Wonderful 30 minutes ago. Yeah, thank you.
Okay,
thanks, Ada.
Chris is our new mentor, and he's from JP Morgan Chase, and he's now a VP of Product Design. So please give us a quick intro.
Great, thank you. Yeah, thank you, and be gentle with me. It's my first time doing this. So hey, I'm Chris. I am I'm a design lead at JP Morgan. I work on all our transactional client-facing systems. So like anytime money changes hands, I'm looking at that. I got mentored into UX 7 years ago. There was a fantastic woman who took me in and kind of taught me a lot about information architecture, and she inspired me. And I was a terrible mentee. I was not very reliable, and but some of it stuck. And she launched my career, and that kind of it means a lot to me, and I think of her fondly. I'd love to help someone else with that. I have only ever worked in finance. I've been working. First, I was a consultant for a couple of investment banks, doing kind of like investment banking dashboards, and then I moved to Chase in the U.S. and worked on some of their more boring features, and then I recently moved out to Asia to work on the transactional features for the private bank out here. But yeah, I'm primarily in the trenches, delivering work with my team. So that's kind of my background. So thank you.
Cool. So Chris will be able to work on something less boring soon. And next we have Ellen. So Ellen Wong, she's from XR. She's XR's UX and UI manager. I've known Ellen for I think more than 10 years. She's a super good gossip buddy. But she is also very supportive to IxDAHK. She was our volunteer back then, and now she becomes our mentor. So Ellen, please do your intro.
Hi, everyone. I'm more happy to be a mentor this time because that is my first time. Actually, I have worked in UX UI industry for 14 years, and worked for SIS around 3 years. Just like Amy said, actually, always in my career time, I'm one-man band, and I can share a lot of experience with you guys. How could you build your UX process during even you are the only one person, and then how to present yourself to your boss, and then convince your working partners or even different stakeholders, and let them to trust your skills, and also help them to build the UX process in the company. Because I really understand that this is very difficult when you are only one person, and I failed a lot of time. But recently in ESSA, I think this is the second company I can help them to construct the UX process, and then also building a bigger and bigger working process now. So I can share more experience. I hope it could help you and help you encourage all of you to being more confident and standing in front of your boss.
Thank you, Ellen. Next, we have Dean. If you are from the startup community, you would know him. He's now MTR's head of ecosystem, but then he is also the founder of Hong Kong Startup. If you have heard of this, it's a super well-established local startup community. And check out their work. The new name is called Startup GBA, Startup Greater Bay Area. Unfortunately, he can't join us today. But please do please do look out for his profile on our network website. Okay. The next Mandy is Louine, and again we have known each other for many years as well. Before her quick intro, I'd like to tell you guys that apart from like being super active in our community, she's also an active member of the International Association of Facilitators, IAF Hong Kong chapter. Hello, Elaine. No, sorry. Hello, Louine. Sorry.
Hi. Yeah, I'm very excited to join this mentorship program this year. And as Ida said, I have been with IxDAHK for a long time, being a volunteers, being a consumers, learning a lot throughout the community. I was also a mentee last year, and one of the mentor here was helping me a lot last time. So I feel that this is really good for me to contribute back and helping each other. I've been working in experience design for a long time, almost 20 years, more than 20 years actually, starting as a user researcher, and then move on to different roles, product manager, survey designer, UX design lead. And then recently I'm focusing on proposition design, working with business team and to shape the proposition, how to look for new business for the bank. I think you all know I'm working for HSBC. So I think if you want to look for help on how to shape your career, which area to focus in experience design, I think I can help you a lot because I have experienced this through. If you also want to learn, as Ada mentioned, facilitation, I'm actually also leading a community on facilitation, some methods to help you to better communicate with your stakeholder, with your people you want to co-design together. There's a way methods you can learn. I can also share that. And anything else about career development, I'm very happy to share as much as I can. And last thing, I've always, when people, I really want to share one statement. When people ask me what is design, design is not about making things beautiful. It's about making things to work beautifully. So if this is something you believe, then I think you're in the right community. So we can, please join us and we can learn from each other.
Thank you, Louine. I do believe facilitation is super important skill that I've not yet started. Okay, next we have Peter. So you just heard about Peter talking about the design challenge. And I met Peter like shortly before he came back from Shanghai, I think. He has been working in Sun Life, and now he's the AVP of Product Owner Digital Transformation at Sun Life. Please do a quick intro again.
Yes. Hi everyone. Peter, also have been in this UX design industry for a long time, a little bit more than 20 years now. So I've been applying the same. One thing that I'm kind of interested in is applying the design thinking into different industries. So I actually in the past years I have used the same methodologies in banking industry and also aviation industry. So my previous job is in Honeywell. It's a company that in Shanghai. It's a US company, but I lead the Asia design team, and then so I applied the design thinking in aviation, smart building, smart home, as well as some things that would explode. And after coming back to Hong Kong, I entered Sun Life, insurance industry. So actually, I'm kind of interested in applying design thinking in different in different areas. So 4 years ago, when back to Hong Kong, we see that okay, in Hong Kong, a lot of understanding a lot of designer might be the only designer inside the company, and then not having senior guidance. So I think working with Ada and Elaine at that time, we think that this is really a right thing to do to have this mentorship program. So in these 2 years, we have a lot of mentee, and then I particularly learned that in Hong Kong, apart from the design tangible skill and then the design methodology, I find that most of the time we provide value is really provide idea about how to work with stakeholders in an organization. Yeah, so which seems to be a intangible soft skill, but apparently is very important for the designer to be successful in company. No matter is you are the only one or you have a big group. I think this is something that you'll be able to find. You can find the help inside this mentorship program. So we are continuously advancing this program, and then I think in the future we will add more and more elements, and then hope to have a chance to meet you all, and then help all. Provide more helping. Yeah.
Hey, thank you, Peter. And next we have Tony from PayMe. Frankly, I haven't met Tony before, but Sherry told me that Sherry told me that he's super good, so he must be super good. So Tony, please do an intro.
Yeah, thanks for that. It's a great introduction. But I have met you, Ada. I think it was quite a while back.
No way.
Like a long time ago. I think it's a service design jam or sustainability jam. I don't remember, but I've met you before. And yeah, it's very excited. I'm very excited to be here, and good to see a lot of familiar faces actually. And nice to see you again, Amy. So I'm Tony. I have been a designer for roughly, I don't remember now, lost count, for 13-14 years now. So I was from Canada. I was studying interaction designs in uni. The program is actually quite interesting because it actually teaches you all facets of design, from all the way from graphic design to web development to architecture to urban planning. So all kinds of design they basically touch. Anything that humans interact, that basically you get the skills from a university. But I think the only thing that they really emphasize is research. Like, how does your product, whatever it is that you're designing, how does it actually impact people's lives? So I think that has really gotten into me. Like everything I do, I always think about what the kind of impact, positively or negatively, does it actually affect humans' lives? So after university, I came back, work in a company called Heath Wallace, work at the IA Information Architect, and also later becoming a UX designer. So that's where I kind of picked up all the usability testing skills, UX, user flows, IA, and then later on I moved into Fjord, which is where I met Amy. That's where I sort of picked up service design skills, and later on moved into PayMe, and now I'm acting as a customer design lead in PayMe. So I guess the role that I'm currently playing is really about helping the programs to make sure that we are actually solving the right problems for the market, making sure that we're not just developing features just for the sake of it and that no one uses, although it still happens sometimes. But then it's the CX team. We sort of, 4 years ago, we built this team from scratch. There was no CX team before, and it was quite a long journey. And now we have managed to become like an integral part of the PayMe program. So I guess what I can also help is how do you actually adapt service design methodologies and also just general design methodologies into in-house, and how do you actually make it so that it can operationalize within a product team. I'll keep it at that, and more to share with you guys. And I'm very happy to be here and excited to meet you all.
Thank you, Tony. I'm super fan of PayMe. That would help me stay away from the Chinese apps. PayMe mobile payments. Next we have Michael. Michael, he's from IBM iX. He's the global design director there, and I think we missed another title. He's also an instructor of the experience design course at IxDAHK. So hello, Michael. Hi, hey, Michael, are you around?
I'm trying to find the unmute button. Hey, no, it was just me tuning out, not tuning out. I was so listening to all the little story from everyone, and then I forgot like the interface. So I have to find.
We never blame users.
But anyway, well, thanks for the introduction, and lovely to meet everyone. So I'm Michael. I'm part of the experience design consulting arm of IBM. It's interesting, a couple of slides before this. I noticed IxDAHK was created back in 2006, and I remember well, maybe around 2008 or 2010. That's when I met Ada and Elaine in a little pub in Lan Kwai Fong, LKF, and they were having a physical meetup. And back in the days, I was an advertising creative and have no idea what is UX. So I've been in your shoes, and I understand how it is like learning something new, getting into a new industry. So hopefully that's something I can help you with along the way in this mentoring program. I joined IBM about a pivot from advertising as a creative into experience design about 5-6 years ago, and I'm very passionate about design thinking and storytelling. So I brought these kind of approach to when I joined IBM and learned how to apply that in an enterprise environment. So I've been doing that with IBM about 5 years now, and part of the global team now, and working with a lot of different clients going through a digital transformation in different part of the world remotely while I'm sitting in Hong Kong. So I'm still very thankful that I have this connection with you all in Hong Kong and able to give back, because I got a lot of great mentors along the way from both design and business perspective. So that's something I hope to give back to you, to challenge you. And because in IBM we believe that design is not, you as a designer, you're not an artist. You're supposed to deliver business impact, because good design is good business. So hopefully that's something I can give that kind of perspective to you. So thank you.
Thank you, Michael. I think I remember the part that you were talking about.
I don't even know if it exists right now.
It's closed down. But for everybody's information, pubs don't really like us do events there because we just talk and don't buy drinks.
Yeah, I remember that too.
Yes. Oh. All right. Next we have Wendy. Now, unfortunately, Wendy can't join us today. She is the founder and managing director of Spring Impact. And so Wendy, she's a super cool person. Besides UX, she's also a Scrum certified product owner, a certified design sprint master with 20 years of digital, mobile, and AI product creation experience. So if you are in tech innovations, such as like AI, definitely talk to her. Okay, next one, we have Oscar Weinhaus. He's the founder, he's the CEO of EQ Lab. I do urge you to check out his website, EQ Lab, because I checked out yesterday, but it's too sophisticated for me, something to do with cognitive things, cognitive costs. And yes, do check out his website, find out his work. Last but not least, we have Rex, and Rex can't join us today. Is there a better thing to do other than meeting with UX people on a sunny Saturday morning? Okay. So Rex is from JP Morgan. He's the VP of User Experience Research from the Digital Client Experience. I've known Rex. I think Rex was the first person I met back then. That wasn't even the title UX. I met Rex like 20 years ago, when there was like usability only. And so before working with JP Morgan, he also worked at Tencent and Yahoo. He was Amy's colleague, I think, back then, right, Amy?
Yes, I have been working with him for quite some time. When you say that he couldn't join, I was in my head. I was playing, joking that maybe I can introduce Rex. No, I did have work with him for quite some time. Especially in Tencent. He was the director of research. So he helped social networking team to build the research team. And he was serving multiple projects at that time. It was at that time we were actually doing quite a lot of qualitative and explorative type of research for new product developments. So when he was working for Yahoo, he was also an interaction designer. So his skill set was quite widespread. So he was able to quickly translate research insights and findings into some idea suggestions as well. So he's a great guy to work with. Okay.
Definitely. And besides work, he's also super passionate with food. Am I right? Food. Pastry kind of food.
Yes, correct. He was actually after he left Tencent, he actually went to France. He went to Paris to study pastry. So he was a pastry chef.
Yeah, I remember once he asked me to meet him in the Central Library, and he took me to the cookbook section, and he kept browsing the cookbooks, and I was standing there doing nothing. Okay, anyway, that's all we have. Thank you again. Thank you for all these 12 mentors for joining us this time. Personally, I really look forward to learning from all of you. Thank you. And I think I'm done here, right? Sorry.
Yeah, thanks, Ada, and thanks everyone for the time. Yeah, thanks everyone today for the very fantastic introduction, and I'm really impressed to hear all the fantastic stories just now. I was already imagining to book some of you, sometime from all of you in the following 3 months. Now, let's move to the next session, and we would like to invite you, all the mentors, to share your opinion about this topic. Is what is a design manager looking for when hiring a junior designer? I can still clearly remember, like a few years ago, when I started to look for jobs in the UX industry here, and I was struggling on these questions for a long time. And I'm sure many of the new joiners have similar situations to me. So we would like to bring you bring this topic on the table this time, and we try to, in order to help us narrow down this topic. I yesterday asked each of the mentors to list out 3 most important characters they think outside or behind the job description. And I chose a portion of the results here. As you can see, some like passion has been mentioned quite a few times, and other like task management, organization skills. So by glancing at those, it's quite like a word or just a terminology to me. So I really want to hear more about what is behind those words. And I remember Ada mentioned like critical thinking in one of the conversation on this topic. So now it's time to you guys to share with us about what you think the most important thing behind the scene. Yeah, like who mentions like task management and why this is the most important. Who want to go first? Maybe Peter, do you want to go first?
Yeah, is it talk about all the things that I've written?
No, because I don't know who wrote this.
Okay.
Yeah, who wrote this? I just chose the result from the result who seems to be very interesting, and also there are more I can mention later.
Yes, sure. So I can talk about the 3 that you put on the top, which is about so first one I put down is the design communication. So this is for sure some things that they would, when they do the interview, then of course we look at the portfolio. But my own habit is that I always want to hear the design story. So I will ask the candidate to actually talk about the story, particularly why, and then a couple of things is see how they can connect the the research, or a lot of them mentioned a lot of different methodologies, but how this methodology are linking up. So I guess this is very important for them to be able to talk about this story. How do they actually come up with the design, and then why is it good? And then this is a very core skill, no matter in which level, will be very important to let other people understand your design. Because a lot of time, otherwise, in the organization, actually, if we don't not talk about why, then people might subjectively think about, look at, okay, this color doesn't look good. But sometimes I sometimes see my team provide the design and then got shut down just because of a minor issue instead of major mistake, design mistake. So I kind of think that this is a very important skill for different levels to convince their others. Yeah. So second is the task management. This is not something that would be mentioned explicitly, but I could easily observe this one, especially for junior designer, how they manage different tasks. If they have problem in bandwidth, how do they approach, how they voice out? Because to be fair, if you are not having enough time and then you are asked to do a lot of things, eventually it affects the quality. So how you manage a task, and then, or how you find someone to help solving the task management issue, eventually is also affecting the outcome. Third one is organization skill. So a lot of people think that this is only for senior designer or design manager, that you need to navigate inside the organization. However, I think even for a junior designer or mid-range designer, you still need to have this skill, because you will need to understand within the organization who can help you on solving certain kind of problems. Sometimes you can just go to ask and then voice out your problem, and then be proactive to solving a problem together, instead of taking everything and then try to solve it by yourself, or find ways to solve it easily. So I guess this is a skill that I usually observe when I ask about the previous problem that you are face inside organization. A lot of them, they mention about, okay, I don't know how to I got too much tasks and I don't know how to finish it, or someone a programmer think that this is too difficult to implement. So all this kind of organization problem that maybe has a way to sort it out easily. So I usually use through these kind of questions to observe the organization skill of the designer. So these are the three things that I put.
Yeah, thanks, Peter. To remind the rest of the mentors, so if you have any opinions with, even though you didn't mention, you didn't write down, it's not you wrote down the 3 characters, you can always feel free to supplement during the process. And yeah, I totally agree what Peter said, especially working in a big corporate and working with a lot of people, the organization skill and also the communication skill is key, which hasn't been mentioned in the job description. And I noticed that there was one person who wrote down the hanger, which is, I'm not sure what does that mean. Who wrote down hanger? Is that someone who attend? Yeah. Who wrote down this word?
It's a typo. Okay. I actually written down 3 things down on the third row: curiosity, hunger, and perseverance. So I totally agree with what Peter said about those day-to-day, almost like hard skills that even though on a JD, on a job description, they never really written those things. Totally agree with them. And what I've written down, those 3 things, I think it's more on more like soft skills, but I think it echoes to what Peter written about. Like, I think as a designer, the design discipline, the design industry is constantly evolving, and there's a lot to learn. So I think curiosity is something very, very important. And even there's a lot of way that that curiosity would be manifest in different aspects. Like Peter mentioned about the organization skills. Do you have the kind of the curiosity to understand, find out what your teammates are doing? Do you have the curiosity to understand what's the pain point of your boss or the pain point of another team? Do you have the curiosity to understand and even design better ways to improve how you can work with other people? And these are all part of curiosity, not just in terms of better your design. So I think that's one thing. Secondly is the hunger. I think is again very much related to curiosity because there's so much to learn. You need to have that hunger to keep learning, keep improving, and there's so many different sub-discipline in design, research, IA, testing, even visual design, interaction design. There's so much you can learn, and without that hunger to keep trying, keep going, that's you're not going to improve. And I think with curiosity and hunger, that means to a design hirer, that means we know there's a mold there we can shape. There's someone we can teach. If you don't have that hunger, if you don't have that curiosity, sometimes it's very, very hard for your senior or your mentor to keep pushing you up. And the last thing is perseverance. So perseverance means basically not giving up, because you will be challenged by not just your boss, not just your design leader, not just, but also business leader, other people who would challenge your design rationale, who would challenge your design output in good ways, most of the time, and in good intention. And you'll feel knocked down, but you need to have that ability that spirit to not to give up and keep learning and keep improving. And I think that's perseverance is the most important thing out of all these three things that I've written down.
Thanks, Michael. Yeah, as a junior designer, I do think those soft skills are correlated with each other when in our daily work. So without realize, we are trying to develop those types of skills without any mentoring. I imagine, like, for example, a few years ago, if someone told me those are the soft skills I would like to develop, it might be easier for me to grow my personal career. And also I noticed that in the one yesterday, someone mentioned emotional regulation. What is that? Anyone wrote down emotional regulation? I'm very interested to. I guess most of the audience are also very interested in why emotional regulation is a very key character. Anyone would like to share or any other thoughts about this?
That might have been me. I think I just submitted that. But yeah, I mean, I think emotional regulation is really important for kind of, I mean, larger projects. You can be under a lot of pressure. You can be really stressed out. I think Michael just talked about getting challenged in meetings, and people, you can have a lot kind of come at you, and it can be very easy to get overwhelmed and stressed out. And so I think it's a really important skill to show up to the office and try to be happy and positive. I don't always do it, but I think, on a team, it makes a big difference if you have people who are kind of emotionally intelligent. Another part of emotional regulation is kind of understanding other people's emotions and tailoring your message. So, maybe if you see someone tense up or you get a bad reaction when you mention something, like, stay away from that thing for the rest of the conversation, right? Like, be smart. So I think there's kind of there's a softer undercurrent to, not only what you say and how you say it, but, how you react to other people and how you read the room. And, we're all selling all the time, right? Like, you're selling your ideas, you're selling decisions, you're selling stories. and a lot of the reason people buy on emotions, right? So keeping your emotions in check and understanding the other emotions in the room can be a powerful asset.
Super agree on this. I think that one thing really would like to add is when I all the time I like to hear how they solve the problem, how they react to the problem, about design problem or facing a problem inside an organization. If they face it or try to solve it, even if it's not solved, but try to solve it in a positive way, I think that is an important energy to be added to the team.
I also want to add a little bit on this. I understand what Chris was saying, but I also want to urge everyone not having any emotions. I think we are human. I think be emotional. Maybe not, I don't know. Is it emotional regulation or is it more like emotional? I like you when you said manage it, emotional managing it, or be more emotional sensitive. But also sometimes like to. Maybe it's me. I like to see people kind of, pissed off a little bit, slashing out a little bit, have that little fire in them, have that point of view. Because I think also because we in Hong Kong, we in an Asian sort of culture, generally people are could be conservative, could be a little bit safe. And they would be, especially junior designer, they might be a bit scared. So I think if you can show a bit of that personality, a bit of that fire, I think it's okay. Yeah, as long as you're not, well, actually, I was about to say as long as you're not swearing at people's face, but yeah, you can get by sometimes. Depends where you are, who you slashing out at. But
don't talk to me that way. I mean, I think it's more about just being on top of it, right? Like understanding that there's an emotional dimension to what we do and that your emotions impact your team and trying to leverage that to the best that you can, right? Because I mean, I think I've worked with a lot of people and I've fallen into this too, where we just complain, right? Like we're designers, we're trying to remove all the imperfections, we're trying to make it better. But after a while that it gets kind of toxic, right? Yeah. Like if you're, oh, well, this is wrong and that's wrong and we can improve this and we can do that. And it's nice to, try to bring a little positivity. Yeah. But yeah, I agree, and I like seeing people with fire, Michael. I love it. People are always challenging you. You got to challenge them, right? Because ideas are kind of forged in the fire, right? Like you don't. You gotta you poke holes in it behind your closed doors so that other people don't, right? And some of that, and it's good to care, and sometimes you get mad when you care. So it's good.
I also want to supplement, since we are touching on the term emotion, I think being a designer is not the same as being an artist. This is a very important point to know. Designer, as an artist, you can express your own thinking, your own way, create the most beautiful, meaningful, whatever deliverable you want. But as a designer, it's the other way. You need to understand your user, your customer, and try to solve the problem for them. So it's the ability to build empathy, able to understand them, even to the point that things they don't know, they cannot articulate themselves, the inner needs. And so this is a skill as a designer you also need to build up. And so when you go for interview, you need to also show that how you're able to demonstrate your empathetic capability. I think that is also important. So that's the point I want to highlight. Yeah.
Love everything that you guys said. I think going back to Chris's and Michael's point, I think having fire is definitely something I would love to see in a team. But if there's also one point that I also want to add, it's on top of that, and also which is also another sticky that I wrote, is humility. Because sometimes you might encounter a designer that is super strong, opinionated, and super fiery up of what they're thinking of, what their idea is, and really want to push that forward. So I think having an element of humility is actually very important as a designer. So you're actually open to other perspectives and be open that there is a chance that you are wrong, so that we can cook up other ideas from other people, which makes something even better. So I think like having all these elements, I completely 100% agree with all of you, but I think it's a mixture or amalgamation of everything that we just talked about. At least for myself, I think humility is in some workplaces might feel or seem like a weakness, where you're, how should I say this, where you're easily swayed by other people's thoughts, but then in essence, you're really just trying to make something good. But then some other, I guess, other leaders or other parts of the business might feel that you're weak in terms of your thoughts. But I think it's more about striking a balance.
Yeah, that's a great point, Tony. I've heard a phrase I think relates to that, which is strong opinions loosely held. Right. So it's like be persuadable, but care. Right.
Yeah. Completely agree.
Well said.
Hey, and oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, well said. Humanity is,
Okay. Totally agree. I was going to add on Tony's, because I think this is super important, to share with the group on what we know and what we don't know. This is also something that me and Tony has experienced when we were at Fjord. We believe that it is important to cultivate a honest and open environment for the team to learn and grow together. So we were actually at Fjord at that time. We were working very hard to make it a safe culture, so that everyone can share what they enjoy or not enjoy at the projects. And for junior designers, it is also important for them to reflect on their experience. I'm sure there's a lot of new things that they need to learn and be overwhelmed, but whether they are willing or able to allow themselves to be vulnerable and share and able to learn how to share their vulnerability with a trusted community, so that we can learn together, that this and determined to build trust with the team. This is also something important as well.
I think the humanity point that Tony mentioned, of course, if you as a junior designer, I think if you are able to work in a safe environment that is cultivated by leaders like like Amy and Tony, that when they did it with you will be very lucky. But at the same time, no matter where you work at, as a junior designer, you will probably still feel like you don't know too many things. You will feel you probably felt like scared to speak up and all that, because knowing that you very consciously knowing that you're a junior. But I think when we talk about humanity, I think that is also one aspect, that you as a junior designer, you can recognize that you are a junior. So that's okay to make mistakes, allow yourself to make mistakes. And I think that would help you to let go some of those pressure and give yourself a chance to try things, to give yourself a chance to prototype forward. So I think that's important to not to kind of hold yourself up to be perfect. I think that's important to know for yourself too.
I think as long as you have humility, you will always like push yourself forward, because you're always open to the idea that you might be wrong. There's always things that you need to learn. So I think having that attitude, naturally, you would just continue like pushing yourself forward, pushing your teams forward, and pushing your projects forward.
Thanks, everyone. I'm so sorry that we, because of the time limitation, we have to end this session. And I feel like this can be a very interesting topic. We can start up another event focusing on this topic and discuss more. And now we will have a breakout session in order to let the mentees, the potential mentees, to have a closely talk discussion with the mentors for this round and give them a taste of how the mentors mimic the mentorship progress. So while we are waiting, we are setting up the breakout room. Ada has some add-on regarding to this topic. So Ada, do you want to supplement a bit?
Sure. As a IxDA specializing in killing dead air, I'm just here to add one more point. I think it's about how much you want to do UX or good design.
Yeah.
It's like, I think it's a passion that, to me, it boils down to passion, right? There are so many things that you have to overcome, like dealing with nasty stakeholders, nasty IT people, or like impossible timeline carvings.
Yeah, Ada, you can ignore that. Continue, please.
Probably Ada already going to.
Yeah, I think she accidentally joined the room. Peter, do you
before
mind
she
to kind of
that.
finish it up for us?
As soon as you mention about nasty IT people, and then
Yeah, Peter, do you mind to kind of wrap up the conversation for us?
Yeah. I think yeah, great points, everyone, and I think this is a good topics that maybe, yeah, as Sven mentioned, is a topics that can never end. We probably spend more time later on this one. I guess now when we go back to the breakout room, I believe that this is purpose is to have more understanding about the program. If any, just casual check on any details about the program or the points that you heard about what we heard what we just shared. So yeah, I have enjoyed the time.
Yeah, I'm sure the discussion is not end. So Cherry will give you guys a guide of how to book mentors time in the following 3 months.
Can you see the presentation? Just checking.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
So how to apply? So as we introduced our program earlier, we have 2 parts to the program. We go to the next slide. First is the mentorship session. So it's for anyone who wishes to speak with a mentor about your current challenges, or you're curious about this industry, or get portfolio review. So during August and November, you can book a session with multiple mentors, maximum 2 times per mentor. So booking details are explained within each mentor profile. So you can click into this link to browse through the mentor's profile. Don't worry, we will share this link and all the details with you after we end this webinar. And then next, we will have the design challenge application. So this is where where you will get to participate in a design challenge for an NGO. From today on, you can fill in this application form. Let me copy and paste it here. And by the 8th of August, because it's first come, first serve basis, because we have a limit of 20 applicants. So please apply ASAP. So again, we will share this link with you later on. Once you've been successfully accepted, we will then send you the introduction, onboarding details, and so on. So the process goes from you can start submitting the application today. We will match you up with a team and a mentor. And then from the 15th of August, the design challenge will start. We'll have like a kickoff session. So during this 2 to 3 month period, you may catch up with your mentor every 2 weeks. So we'll ask you to, be proactive, try to solve problems within your own team. And obviously the mentor will be there to guide you, but this is really your chance to, own the project. Just like any other project in a real work environment, you get to check in with your PO product manager or your client. You will get to check in with the NGO as well. And then finally, at the end of third month, you will have a final sharing with the other teams. So this is basically it. If you have any questions, feel free to email us. And don't worry, we'll send this to you guys later. So we are very close to the end of our event. If you haven't followed us already, follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook. If you would like to have some fun experience outside of work, we also welcome any volunteers. You don't have to participate from the beginning to the end of the mentorship organization preparation. But if you want to participate in hosting any events, I think for myself at least, I think I've learned a lot of facilitation or moderating skill. I moderated my first panel discussion last year, so that was a lot of fun. So we also do a lot of Cantonese events, so to tailor to English speaking or Cantonese speaking people. So before we end, I did ask you in the beginning of the event to share if you have any topics you'd like to learn more about. So please type them in the chat now. So we want to make sure that the events we host are, you guys are actually interested in. So please share them now in the chat if you have any ideas. As you type in the chat, maybe Karina, can we stop the presentation? Everyone turn your camera on, smile. Yeah. Okay, I think someone just asked me a question about booking mentors versus booking for the design challenge. So quickly on that one. So if you want to book a session with a mentor, any of our mentors on the platform, you can click into a link to book a session with them. But for the design challenge, is separate. So after you apply and you have been successfully accepted, we'll let you know how to continue the communication with your design challenge mentor. So two separate things. Okay. Yay. So let's put on a smile and can we take a picture
question
now? Oh, yeah. Sorry. How much time and commitment is required for the design challenge? So it will be 2.5 months. And it's really up to you. Like Peter said, the scope of the work could be, it could be up to the team to decide whether you want to, enhance the website or, design a surface to help, the elderly, was it? Yeah. So I think it really depends on the objective you've set and also the team, how much time you want to put into it. But the duration will be 2.5 months. Yes.
Just wanted to clarify. So there is no particular weekly commitments or anything, right? So it's flexible depending on the team negotiation.
Correct.
Yep. Got it. Thank you.
Right. No problem. Is there a fee for joining mentorship program for the design challenge? No, there's no fee. This is all volunteer work and free for you guys. Yeah. Awesome. Any last questions? Okay, if no, let's take a photo. Yeah, let me take it. So one second, put on a smile. I will take a screenshot right now. 1, 2, 3. Okay, one more to the second screen. 1, 2, 3, smile. Yay, thank you so much. Thank you all the mentors, the core team, everyone, those who join us on a Saturday morning. So I hope to see you sometime soon, online or offline. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thanks so much for
Bye,
setting this up.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.